Childhood trauma rarely looks like what we see in movies. Often, there's no single dramatic event. More often, it's a quiet, prolonged absence. An absence of safety, of predictability, or of emotional presence from the people who are supposed to provide it. The field of psychology is crystal clear on this. A child doesn't need to be beaten or abandoned to experience trauma. It's enough for their needs to be consistently ignored or met only on certain conditions. The behaviors we develop as adults then become the lingering traces of what was missing back then. Do you recognize any of these behaviors in yourself? If you do, it is very possible that your childhood contained experiences that your young mind couldn't understand or even name at the time. Let's explore 5 of these common patterns. The first is what we call emotional hypervigilance. Think about it. Do you constantly scan your environment? Do you find yourself analyzing every little detail, the tone of someone's voice, their facial expressions, the subtle shifts in their body language? If so, your nervous system likely learned a long time ago that safety was never a guarantee. A child raised in an unpredictable environment becomes an expert at anticipating threats. In adulthood, this doesn't always translate to a conscious fear of the world. Instead, it's a state of constant readiness. Your body reacts faster than your conscious thought. Before you can even think, you already have that gut feeling that something is wrong. This isn't some romanticized intuition. It's a conditioned survival mechanism, honed by years of practice. The second behavior is a noticeable difficulty in regulating emotions. People who have experienced childhood trauma often feel their emotions with extreme intensity. They can be abrupt, overwhelming, or sometimes strangely delayed. You might feel too much all at once, or you might feel completely numb for a long time, and then suddenly, everything floods in. This happens because, in childhood, there was no adult to help you name, soothe, and make sense of your feelings. Your nervous system never learned how to move smoothly between emotional states. As a result, as an adult, you might react to situations with either complete overwhelm or a total shutdown. This isn't a lack of control on your part. It's a lack of learned regulation. It's a skill you were never taught. The third behavior is a deep internal sense of guilt that doesn't have a clear reason. Do you often feel that you are too much? Maybe too difficult, or that you're just a problem, even when objectively everything is fine? This is a very common trace left by a childhood where your needs were treated as a burden to the adults around you. A child who constantly hears or even just senses that their emotions are inconvenient begins to internalize that guilt. They start to believe that their very needs are wrong. In adulthood, this shows up as an overwhelming sense of over-responsibility. You might find yourself apologizing for simply existing, or you might have incredible difficulty setting boundaries because you feel you don't have the right to. This isn't humility. It's an ingrained, deep-seated belief that just being yourself costs other people too much. The fourth behavior is a feeling of ambivalence toward closeness and relationships. You want connection, but you fear it at the same time. You might long for deep, meaningful relationships, but as soon as someone gets close, a powerful tension arises. You might feel an urge to pull away, to create distance, or to sabotage the connection. This is a classic effect of what's called relational trauma. In childhood, the very people who were supposed to be a source of comfort might have also been a source of threat, pain, or unpredictability. That profound paradox becomes deeply encoded in your nervous system. As an adult, your mind can't choose a single, clear response to intimacy because both getting close and pulling away were once necessary for survival. This is why your relationships might feel intense, chaotic, or short-lived. It's not because you lack the desire for connection, but because of a powerful, unresolved internal conflict. The fifth behavior is a strong need for control, or, on the flip side, a complete avoidance of it. Childhood trauma often develops in situations where a child had absolutely no influence over what was happening to them. They were helpless. As adults, people often respond to this early experience in one of two ways. Either they try to control everything, their emotions, their relationships, their future, every little detail, or conversely, they give up control entirely. They become passive, withdraw, and let things happen to them. Both of these seemingly opposite mechanisms serve the exact same purpose: to avoid ever feeling that powerless and helpless again. This isn't a personality quirk. It's a defensive strategy that was once absolutely necessary for your survival. Now, if you see yourself in any of these behaviors, there is one thing that matters more than anything else. Having these traits does not mean that you are broken. it doesn't mean something is fundamentally wrong with you. It means that your mind and your body did everything they could to protect you in conditions that were more difficult than any child should ever have to endure. The very things that may be interfering with your life today were once your rescue. They were your armor. Understanding this doesn't magically undo the past, but it offers something far more important. It offers you the possibility of stopping the fight against yourself. It gives you a new lens through which to see your own struggles, not as flaws, but as evidence of your resilience. It's the first step toward compassion for the person you had to become to survive. And from that place of compassion, true healing can begin.